Welcome to Tuesday Night TerrorVision. I'm your host, Etep, joined by Mrs. Co-host, Trina. Hi, Trina.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to this review.
Absolutely. This was a fun movie.
Yes, this was a great one.
It had some jump scares. It had some tucked away little jump scares that got Trey.
Nice. This is kid safe.
Yeah, it is. It's PG-13. So no worry about that. Very little blood. Only a few times do they show it. What up, Mr. Pulp Noir? Manliness and motivation. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, this was a fun one, but let's take care of the business here first. We've got some patrons and some channel members to thank for the month of January, which is almost over. I can't believe January is almost over already.
I know, it's going so fast already.
Oh my God. Well, let's thank our channel members and patrons. What up, y'all? This is Etep from Wrestling with Horror. On behalf of the Horsemen, everybody at the channel, we want to say thank you for supporting us. We truly appreciate it. We strive to bring you the quality content that you guys deserve.
Thank you again for supporting Wrestling with Horror. We now return to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress. Back to you, Pete.
Yeah, thank you to our channel members and Patreon supporters. That's patreon.com/Wrestling with Horror 420. And remember, the new Twitter account, mine, not the new Twitter account, the old Meet the Old Boss, like the new boss, at N80Pete, as you can see right here. I got to get my hands in the right spot. Right here, under my name, at N80Pete. That's the only Twitter account associated with myself and Wrestling with Horror. The other one has been suspended, thankfully.
Oh, good.
The one that got hacked got suspended. So... God willing.
That's good. So, so you won't be charged for your subscription anymore, right?
No, checkmark's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
Are you gonna get a new one?
No, never. I'm never streaming on X again. Never getting verified on X again. I'm done. I'll share the links there, but no, I'm never paying for that again. Not dealing with it. Yeah. I've cashed it in there. But yeah, we're on YouTube exclusively. We'll be doing some Rumble stuff again. I got to get back into that, as it were. But yeah, even maybe Odyssey, because Odyssey, all my content still backs up to Odyssey, which never really did anything. I don't really get Odyssey and what they're trying to do over there. I keep getting notifications they've updated their monetization and stuff. I'm like, they're desperate.
I messed up on Odyssey, so I had my YouTube account linked, and then I deleted my account, and I can't, and I set up a new account, and I can't link my YouTube account to my new Odyssey account.
Because it's linked to the old one?
Yeah, and I even, I emailed them and asked and everything, and they're like, no, we can't do it. Like, I don't understand what the difficulty is, but...
Well, that was like the same thing with my X account or my Twitter account. It's like, well, your email's not associated with it anymore. I'm like, I know, they fucking changed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do you need? I can give you the fucking the receipts that I have for paying for my fucking, oh no, that's not going to do. I'm like, all right, fuck it then. That's what I said right there. After 6 attempts to get my account back and they refused to help me. I'm like, that's why I'm like, I'm sorry. Fuck that.
That's disappointing.
They don't get any more of my money.
I really thought, Musk would run a better business than that. That's disappointing.
Yep. absolutely. I was absolutely disappointed with that, to say the very least. When something like that happens. So it was weird too, because like a friend of mine, she had her Facebook and her Instagram hacked last night. We were in mid conversation, and all of a sudden I was blocked. I'm like,
man,
what? So I texted him like, hey, did you just block me? She goes, no, my account's gone. I'm like, oh. So she got it back today, though, finally, after almost 24 hours of going through everything. She finally got her face, and it's like pictures of her kid and stuff like that. It's like stuff you can't get back. So it's like she got it back at least. I'm like, well, I'm happy you got yours back. My Twitter account. What am I out? What am I out other than 800 followers? Because I was over 1,000. But I mean, we'll build it back up slowly again. It's fine. Don't care. Not going to worry about it. Because we got a movie to review. What up, Scrambles? Good to see you, Godzillionaire. One more piece of business before we go, and right here, you guys buy some merch.
Want some of the latest Wrestling with Horror merchandise? Just head over to the store tab on the main page of the channel. That's where you can find our original logo emblazoned on t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve tees, and the classic NWO swag is there as well. So stop by and take a stab at new shirt with a bloody good design by comic book professional Vinnieart and show your love. For Wrestling with Horror, we now rejoin your regularly scheduled program, Tuesday Night TerrorVision, already in progress. Back to you, Pete and Trina.
So yeah, you can get your Wrestling with Horror merchandise right there. Just go to the store tab on the main channel page and get you some of that. I want to get one of those pink shirts. I want one of those, the salmon colored. I want one of those with the.
You should.
I might get one and cut the sleeves off it and wear it to the ring over my singlet.
Some men with the right complexion and and all that look really good in like pink, salmon, coral. Yeah.
I can rock those colors. I have a couple like salmon colored pink shirts and ties I wear, like combos, when I used to work for Chrysler. And I can rock, especially in the summer when I'm tanned.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look bad now, but it looks better like when I'm tan. But I've always been like, I can wear any color and it really doesn't look bad. I'm extremely blessed with that because I like ostentatious colors and suits, which you'd never be able to tell by my t-shirts because 99% of them are black. But my golf shirts are like the loud shirts, and my dress shirts and ties, stuff like that. But let's get into this movie, shall we? We're reviewing Imaginary.
He says he's right behind you.
But it was just my imagination.
Yeah, this one was good. It starts out it started out like it was very dark, like the way it was shot.
Yeah. It was kind of, I had a hard time seeing things in certain spots.
It wasn't just me because I started watching it on my phone when I was cooking dinner, and then I switched over to the TV about 30 minutes in. And yeah, I had issues with the color because it was the basement scenes were very dark.
Yeah.
And you're like, I went into my laundry room, the lights are off, and I closed the door. I'm sitting there watching on my phone. I'm like, it looked a little bit better without like the light in the room.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that too much though. So
just a couple of spots.
Yeah. That was a good thing. Like I said, I'd take that. But the characters in this, you've got, which I was really disappointed that Tom Payne wasn't in this more. He's Jesus from The Walking Dead. Also, one of my favorite shows that got canceled, he was Malcolm Bright in Prodigal Son.
Yeah, I liked that show too.
I reviewed every episode of that. That show was fucking fantastic. And man, if there was a show that needed a second season and didn't get one, it was Prodigal Son. Tom Payne marries, I can't remember the actress's name, but Jessica's her name. He and his ex-wife split up. She's got some issues, and he has 2 daughters. So they move into and buy Jessica, his new wife's old childhood home. So that's kind of where everything starts, because the beginning of the movie, they show the scene with her and her dad. I think it is in the monster, like right at the beginning. Like,
we see her, like, it starts off with her nightmare.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. And she's like she's running out this door, and she escapes, and she says, "I'm sorry we didn't get to finish the game." And a male's voice, we don't see the male, we just hear it. He's like, "It's okay, it's okay." Yeah. And then she's goes in the living room, and he grabs her, and he says something like, "Your friend is never coming back," and other stuff. And then she walks to her bedroom, and we see like spider legs coming out of this guy, and he's like chasing after it, and she goes, and it looks like she's going to herself, like her, like she's sleeping in her bed, but in her dream, like she's walking to herself, and she's like, "Please wake up." And then the creature comes in, we see this, and it has like a bunch of eyes and all the spider legs and everything. It's a cool looking monster. And then she wakes up from the nightmare, and that's when we see her husband. We find out it's a nightmare she's having, and her husband's like, "Is a spider again? Should we call an exterminator?" And they laugh, and that's when they decide to go to her dad's house, because her dad's in assisted living now.
Yep. Which,
that was a good opening, I felt.
Yeah, it gave you a taste of what you're in for without giving everything away up front.
Yep.
Like, I mean, the trailer kind of gave some stuff away, but I felt after watching the trailer and then watching the movie, it didn't really give away everything.
No, it definitely didn't.
Yeah. That's a problem with modern movies, is the audience has such a short attention span for the most part that they feel they have to do that. You know, it's like, here's what you're going to get. And it's like, I don't want to know. I want to be surprised.
I know.
You know, especially a movie like this where there's, a lot of suspense involved in it. I don't want to lose that to, oh, well, for the benefit of those with no attention span, we have to give you everything in the trailer. Please don't.
I know.
There's still some people with over a penny IQ that can discern the plot of a movie simply by watching it. What a concept, Yeah. But the characters, your main characters in this, the daughter Taylor, the older daughter, the teenage daughter, you've got Alice, the younger daughter.
Yep.
They really, I was kind of worried about the teenage daughter at first, what kind of arc she was going to have, if any.
Yeah, same.
I was pleasantly surprised with her character arc.
They did a great, I forget who wrote the script for this, but they did a great job writing her, because she definitely acted like a teenage girl.
Yes.
But she was also useful as well. So, yeah, I feel like the characters were very well written.
It was written by director Jeff Wadlow, and then Greg Erb and Jason Ormland.
Wadlow, that sounds familiar.
Jeff Wadlow has done Kick-Ass, Truth or Dare, Fantasy Island, and Imaginary as far as movies go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's only 48. Wow, went to Dartmouth.
Wow.
Yeah. He's related to Katie Couric.
Oh.
That's his aunt. His mother is Emily Couric, Katie's sister.
I know Katie Couric. I don't know her.
I didn't know her sister.
No,
let's see. Emily, no picture of her. She was a Virginia Democratic state senator from Charlottesville. Wasn't there a shooting in Charlottesville? Yeah.
There wasn't that where the thing like find people on both sides, or wasn't that in Charlottesville?
Wasn't that the church?
I can't remember. I honestly can't.
It's sad. There's been so many. We're like, was that that one?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I want to say Charlottesville was the church. It was a church shooting. Was that the black church?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
That was the black church shooting in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, that's Emily Corrick is the director, Jeffrey Clark Wadlow's mother, and she was a Democratic state senator from there. But yeah, Wadlow wrote and directed this, and yeah, this guy, like I said, his filmography really not too long. He had some other movies. Let's see, his theatrical directorial debut, Cry Wolf, that won the 2002 Chrysler $1 Million Film Competition. Oh shit, he directed that movie Never Back Down, the fighting movie with Demon Hansu and Sean Ferris.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I've never seen it. I'm just aware it was like some kind of like karate, like fighting movie. I was like, this looks generic, like something much worse, because it came out in 2008. Much worse than what I saw in the 80s and 90s as far as these movies go. So I'm not going to waste my time. What up, Vinny? Good to see you, bro.
Hey, Vinny.
Good to see you, Vincenzo. So yeah, the characters in this were very well done. Jessica had a good arc as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even the little girl, like I like how the movie progresses and we find out it's less about the little girl and more about Jessica.
Yeah.
Which was really a nice twist to it.
Yeah, the twist. Yeah, I like that. It was a surprise because in the trailer, they really made it look like it was all about the little girl.
Yep.
And we find out that there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, you got a lot with the daughter, Alice.
Yes.
They use that to build it up. Vinny, I would say absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you'll love it, Vinny.
This is a good movie. It's always about the little girl, Joe Biden. God damn it, manliness. No, this one is worth checking out though. But no, so you get that good character development, the build up with Alice to where you can tell it's starting to really tear at her psyche. Because the dad goes away. I think he's a musician.
Yeah, because like they show a guitar on their bedroom wall before they move into her dad's house. So yeah, I think he's in a band and he goes on tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what?
What?
What? Only for pay. I'm not a cheap whore. No, but you gotta like a dive into Alice's psyche in this. And like I like when they called in the therapist, and that was freaky.
That was good.
It was such a well done scene too. You have that the therapist is she's talking to her and Alice is like throwing her voice. And this is the thing that she starts doing. Well, we should probably go back because she finds the bear when they go and move into Jessica's house. This is her childhood home. Yeah. And they're playing hide and go seek, Alice and Jessica. Jessica gets a phone call from her publisher, her agent, because she's an artist. And she goes outside to take the phone call, and Alice makes her way to the basement and finds this teddy bear and automatically starts calling it Chauncey.
Yeah, she's like, it's like the teddy bear told her its name.
Yep, right off the get-go. So they hit the ground running with the main plot, which I liked.
Yeah.
Because the movie was like an hour and 44 minutes. So
yeah, it was a long movie.
It was.
Wasn't it 2 hours? I thought it was over 2 hours.
It might have been over 2 hours. I can't remember. I thought it was an hour and 44. I don't know. But it was a longer runtime. Yeah. But with the way the plot worked and the writing went, it really you didn't really hit any like points where you're like, okay, come on, is something gonna happen? Because there was always something little going on in the background, a lingering camera shot. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Sans the dark scenes in the beginning, the cinematography in this was really good.
Yep, very well done.
Very well done. The effects were good. Yeah, there was really no weak points in this movie.
No, I was thinking of that too. I was like trying to think of what problems did I have with this movie, and I honestly can't think of any.
No, No, I had no gripes or complaints with this. What up, Taylor 29? Shalom. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hello.
No, I didn't have any issues with this. I thought it was like everything was well done. I was like, this is a good script. These are good characters. There's no characters you're like, ugh. Like at first you kind of think the teenage daughter is going to be that character.
Yeah.
To where she's going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
But
because I was thinking if she's like this the rest of the movie, this is going to suck.
Yeah, because she was kind of insufferable in the beginning.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, she was. And typical teenager, you know, it is. It's more of a thriller than a horror.
Yeah.
I would say it has horror aspects, but it leans more on the thriller suspense kind of you know, story than a straight up horror movie. I'm trying to think of something this reminded me of. I want to say, was it Gothica with Halle Berry?
Yep.
It kind of reminded me of that.
Yep, Gothica, and there was I can see that.
Yeah. Which, God, that movie came out like I want to say like 02, 03?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
God, I haven't seen it since. I watched it like twice when it came out because I rented it, but no, it was good. Like this is, I'll recommend this before we even score it later on. I'll recommend this movie. I have no qualms about that, at all. But so Alice finds a teddy bear and it's her friend and she starts playing with it and the scavenger hunt comes up. That shit, I was like, oh, okay. The bugs, when she gets the bugs, she has a jar of dead bugs because she's supposed to get something that scares her. And it was like, okay. And then the next door neighbor sees the daughter Taylor because she's taking a selfie in her bedroom window and she sees this old lady in the picture and she runs outside to find her. And her like teenage next door, boy next door comes over and he's kind of hitting on her and he's like, oh yeah, there's a bar that doesn't check IDs. And the mom comes out and starts doing mom stuff, Jessica, and she embarrasses Taylor, who goes back inside immediately.
That was funny.
It was.
I like how she did that. Yeah, she's like, she's only 15, so maybe you could take her on a tour of the mall instead.
Yeah, maybe mini golfing.
Yeah, she keeps on like taunting her with different stuff.
Yeah, that was again. It's good, lighthearted dialogue, realistic type dialogue in a movie that is fantasy based, and it kept it grounded. I really like that approach.
Yep.
But so she's wondering who this old lady is, and the boy next door, I can't remember his name. He told her
Liam.
Of course, his name's Liam. Can we just call him Liam? Little red
He's a
bastard.
douche too.
He is wow. It must be the name. I wonder if he didn't deliver on a oh, never mind. Anyway, I want my fucking book, asshole. Anyway, so it's the neighbor.
He's telling her how, because she runs out of the house looking for that lady, and he's like, oh yeah, that's Gloria. She wanted your house. I guess she's mad she didn't get it, and all that stuff, and he's like macking on her and stuff. Oh my God, macking. I haven't heard that since the 90s.
I was going to say, damn, settle down, Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, so, he's just douchey, and we see more of him a little bit later.
Yep. Yeah, he comes back around. But yeah, because Jessica, like, so the daughter goes up to her room, she's mad, and I'm trying to think what happened after that, because I didn't get a chance to take notes, but
right after that, right after like when she meets Gloria, she goes in, she's like ignoring Jessica. Jessica's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you mad and stuff, and instead of answering her, she sends her a text and she's like, nothing you can say can make me feel bad, and Jessica's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next thing we see is that there, it's nighttime and Jessica's getting ready for bed, and in this house, they can hear through the vents, and they hear Allison talking to Chauncey.
Which that was free, because this is when you start seeing she's doing two voices, but it's much more like exaggerated and like male sounding now than it was previously. It has like a more sinister tone to it, which added something. And because like the dad was kind of laughing about it. Oh, she's got a new friend or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, that's cute, and I think she's gonna do well and stuff. Because actually, this, I liked this because Jessica and Alice were, getting close, and those aren't her kids.
No.
So like this was written realistically. The little girl, of course, is going to be more accepting than the teenager. So that was on point. And then then we get our first jump scare that night when Alice is playing hide and seek, and she's like, they go to bed, and they see like Alice in the corner of the bedroom, and they're like, aren't you supposed to be in bed? And she's like, I'm playing hide and seek with Chauncey, and Jessica's like, you can come in here and hide from him. And so she jumps in, and then Jessica starts hearing noises in the room. So she starts like looking over the bed, and she ends up looking under the bed. And then all of a sudden we see a face under the bed, and they made the noise and everything. So it's a bona fide jump scare. And it was Max, and he just starts laughing. And I just thought it was funny how they did that. Like, he's messing with her.
Yep.
It was cute. I liked it.
They framed it really well too. Again, the way the camera pans in this shot is perfect. Like it was, I was like, damn, that was good. Like they just panned it down nice and slow, and but then after that they go back to bed and you see the bear is sitting there on the floor. Yeah, like it's like, oh, I kind of like got goosebumps. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, jumping right into this. Okay, all right, and then isn't it the next day when she starts her scavenger hunt, I believe?
I'm trying to think.
Because she gets the bugs.
Yes, she does. Yep, she starts working on her scavenger hunt.
And Jessica's not allowed to see the list.
That's right. Yep, it's just a secret between her and Chauncey.
Yeah, which was okay. It's like the kid's keeping secrets from, the parent, because the dad he's not gone at this point yet.
No,
because we have another jump scare coming up, but because the scavenger hunt is pretty innocent at first. She needs something happy, so she gives her that ball and she draws a smiley face on it. It's like a ball of paint.
Yeah.
And she gives her that and draws like a smiley face on it. And when I'm trying to think, it was like that night. Oh, no. The tea party scene.
Yeah, that was that night.
Yeah. So Jessica's like recording her on her phone, and she's talking but she hears Alice talking, and she like films in the room, and she sees the bear sitting there, and she saw somebody like walk away.
Yeah, looks like it kind of looks like a woman's legs get up from the table, because she hears because Alice says, your dress is really pretty, and that's not something she says to Chauncey.
Nope.
And then right when she says that, we see like the woman, just the legs, you can barely see it. They kind of go away from the table. And and Alice, that's when Alice says, she turns to Jessica and says, she says he's right behind you. This jump scare was so good.
Yeah, because she turns around, and then the fucking mom Alice and Taylor's mom just comes fucking lunging at Jessica, which was like, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, it was unexpected because you expect something to come out from the dark behind her.
Yep.
But instead it's the mom coming out from the room in front of her. So I like that. That was a good switch up.
Now, when they panned to Jessica and you could see behind her, was it just me or did you see like the outline of like a silhouette behind her in the shadow?
I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or not, but I did feel like I saw something.
You know what that reminded me of? Sans seeing part of the face lit was Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And when Michael Myers is coming out of there and you see him like come into the light out of the shadow of the door.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that shot reminded me of. I was like, I wonder if he did that. He framed it that way intentionally as like an homage because I thought it was neat. I really, so. I like that. My headcanon is that Jeff Wadlow, the director, did that as an homage to that scene in the 1978 Halloween.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's the mom, and what did she say to her? Something about keeping them safe.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta keep my girls safe. There's something in this house.
Yeah. And you're like, is she real? Is this? And it turns out she's very real, and she's touched in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Like it turns out. So they take her away, and you find out that Taylor, the mom wasn't supposed to know where they lived because of her mental state. And Taylor goes and admits that she was texting her and she told her where they live, and she's very apologetic about it, which right there kind of began her kind of redemption arc as a character, which not that she really did anything wrong, but it just to fully flesh out the character, I want to say.
Yeah, her attitude kind of started to soften at that point.
Yep, it shifted. There was a tonal shift in the character, the way she was written throughout the rest of the movie at this point. So Jessica's freaked out, and so Dad has to leave the next day for his tour or whatever he's going on, his gig. So he's got to leave. So it's just Jessica and the girls. And when he's leaving, this is when Gloria, the old lady, comes over and kind of introduces herself. Well, it turns out she used to be Jessica's babysitter when she lived there as a child.
Yep.
So right from the get, you pick up the vibe on Gloria that she's not, there's something off.
Something up with her. Yep. Yeah. You get that right away.
Mm-hmm. Well, she starts talking about the books she's written, and she's like, I haven't written anything like you. I've just written scholarly, texts and stuff like that. And
like, what a humble brag. Like, she knows that Jessica writes like children's books and stuff like that. And she's and Gloria's like, hey, Tommy.
Hey,
and
Tommy.
Gloria's like written like you said, scholarly books on like deep subjects. It's like, like what is this? So you get that off feeling with her right away. And when Taylor saw her eyes widened, because that's who she saw out her window when she took that selfie.
Yeah. I kind of like, again, with her looking out the window. Now I know it's not the same kind of scene, but again, a Halloween vibe with Jamie Lee Curtis in the window scene where Michael Myers is in the clothesline. Maybe I'm just conflating things here.
No,
and making false equivalencies, but this is the second one that you pick up in the first fucking half hour. The first act of the movie, you get two of these nods to Halloween. Yeah,
there's definitely, I really do think that they were like, nodding to John Carpenter for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if he's on Twitter, Jeff Wadlow. I want to tweet at him and ask him that, like, if I could get a response. I think that would be neat. But I'll look and see if he's on Twitter later on, and I'm going to ask him if he intentionally shot those two specific shots in John Carpenter-esque Halloween style to try to, but it worked. It looked great. The modern oh, I'm taking a selfie and there's, Michael Myers in the background. Or here's this old lady in the background. And then you look and she's gone, like Michael Myers. So, but yeah, you get that whole feeling. I got to rotate my shoulders here. You get that whole feeling that there's something not right with her. And she goes into great detail, like on her first meeting with Jessica, a reintroduction, I should say, about her childhood. And, but not too much yet. We don't get all of it yet. And yeah, so Jessica eventually, what's her name? The little one comes out. She wants lunch. She said, didn't she say Chauncey's hungry here? Alice said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something like she goes up and she's like, she's like, can we have lunch? Chauncey's hungry. And Gloria's like, oh, patience, dear. Your mom and I were almost done talking. And Alice says, well, Chauncey's hungry. Maybe he'll eat you for lunch. And I was like, whoa. And Gloria is, what's that?
No, I said, right? I was like, damn. That was a jump off.
I didn't expect that out of Alice, but and then Gloria kind of laughs it off and she's like, I love children's imaginations and stuff like that.
Except when they get violent.
Except when they get so violent. So then Taylor yells from the house, are you gonna make Alice's lunch or do I have to?
Yep.
So she hasn't lost that edge yet, but she's working on it.
She is. So she goes in, she gives her like a fucking brownie.
Yeah, she's making brownies.
I'm like, that's not lunch.
Yeah, I just assumed that they had lunch, but she's also making brownies.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I'm like, I hope she fed that child something other than a brownie. This is me in my head going like, you better not give her just a fucking brownie. Kid's gonna get the sugar foot. God damn it. I can't believe you said that, Trina. So she has to get two though, because she has to get one for Chauncey as well.
Yeah.
So she takes 2 plates with a brownie on each. And I'm trying to think what happened after that. Because there was another. Is this when she leaves? Is this just leaves? She has to leave and go. She goes to see her dad because it just popped. She goes to see her dad, and Liam shows up. Yeah. All 3'7" of him. Liam shows up. No, he's not really that short. The other Liam is. But so Liam shows up and he pulls out a bag. Didn't he pull out the pills at first? He's like, you want to do these? And she's like, all right, they come in, they're gonna watch a movie. And you can tell, like, how old is he supposed to be? Like 17?
Yeah, it must be like 17 or something, because he's still definitely like beholden to his parents. So he's not 18 yet. So I gotta imagine around 17.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so there's not like a huge, like when Jessica came out, I was like, she's 15. I was like, Jesus Christ, is this kid like fucking 19 or 20 years old? But
I know.
Then you find out Liz's parents and shit, you're like, and you look at him, it's like, he's like 16, 17. Like the age gap is not, you know what I mean? It's not Harvey Weinstein type or Diddy.
Yeah, it's not that big. It's not that big.
No. So he, God damn it, manliness. He's not 18 yet. Kevin Spacey. Oh, Kevin Spacey redid that. Was it that Warrant song? She's only 17. He's only. All right. But so they're watching their movie and he's getting fidgety, and he pulls out the bag. He's like, "You want one of these?" No. Okay. So she doesn't want him. He's like, oh, and he sees Max is the dad's name, Tom Payne's name. Finds his liquor cabinet and he's like, oh, let's have a drink. I'm gonna have a drink. And he fucking drops a bottle because he's a complete moron. Yeah. And she's like, go upstairs to the bathroom and get towels and I'll get the mop. And he's like, okay. Yeah. So he makes his way upstairs and he does he hear Alice talk, because the bear, like Alice made a face at him because he touched the bugs. It pissed Chauncey off because he touched that jar of bugs.
Yeah, and when he first got there, he was kind of like taunting Alice and making fun of her and stuff. And he's like, he called her a psycho and stuff like that because she was putting bugs. She had bugs in a jar. because that's one of the things on the list. She has to do something that she's like scared of.
Yes.
Yeah, so they don't have a good interaction. And yeah, when he's upstairs, he starts hearing, well, he's okay. This irritated me. I don't know if it's because I'm a female or a mom to boys. I don't know what it is, but he's taking a piss and he gets spooked or something and he pisses on the floor and then he like wipes his hands on the towel, but doesn't wash them first. He just wipes his piss hands on the towel. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
Is he fucking Ron Perlman?
Like, this kid is such a little asshole. But yeah, he keeps like he sees that toy in Alice's room. Yep. And yeah, he like inspects it and everything. And isn't it like when he goes near it, it stops?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then he starts seeing Chauncey, because Chauncey has one of those things that has a pull string. Yep. And he plays a little tune when you pull it. And so he keeps seeing that string on the floor. And so he's trying to catch it. And then, oh, that's right. What spooked him in the bathroom was he looked over and he sees the teddy bear under the towel.
Yeah. It was blankie. Yeah. It was under a blanket.
That's when he was in the hallway.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he had the towels on the counter and it was under the fucking towel on top. Okay. Yeah, and the string was hanging down. Yeah. I was like, the fuck? What? Like, it was, I liked it. I really dug this scene because they showed this in the trailer.
Yeah.
This is the one they showed in the trailer, the scene in him in the hallway. And it's because, like, he's out in the hallway and he hears it again and hears the fucking bear as he turns around under the towel. Oh, he's chasing the pull string.
Yep.
Like a fucking, like when somebody would put a dollar bill on the string, you chase it.
Yeah.
That was him, except it was like a little shiny brass ring. It's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, it's James Woods. So he's chasing it around and he fucking steps on it finally. And then the bear starts coming toward him. He lets off of it and the string retracts in. And that motherfucker, like, didn't it pop out of it at that point?
Yeah. And turns into like a like beast.
Yeah.
Like Chauncey beast.
Yeah. It was fucking freaky.
It was awesome. And then Taylor comes up and she's like, what are you doing? And then
he fell over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He fell over and she comes up and she's like, what are you doing? And he's and Chauncey's gone at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, and then the Jess comes home and she's like, she called Liam's mom over because she's like, your son is trying to give my daughter Molly, and the mom, Liam's mom, looks at the bag and she's like, those are my allergy pills. And she looks at Liam and she goes, get back in the house, you idiot.
I love that. It was allergy medicine. Like, oh, he didn't know Molly from Claritin.
And he was acting all high and stuff. Like, dude.
Because he even said, he's like, man, I'm tripping. I'm like,
yeah.
What we didn't tell him was we switched his Molly with placebo. Let's see if Liam finds out while he's trying to draw Wonder Island. Excuse me. I had something stuck in my throat. So yeah, Liam is taken home in shame. Never finishes, but never mind. He didn't. Damn it, I can't get off that now. I swear to God, we can't have another movie with a character named Liam, or I'm going to do this again. That's the last thing I need. A 4-foot fucking soulless ginger coming after me, trying to bite my kneecaps. He wouldn't finish anyway. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. I know Vinny's at least laughing at that. But yeah, Vinny, all this inside baseball is for you, my friend. Everybody else out there saying, what the fuck is he talking about?
I know.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is akin to me cutting a wrestling promo and just to somebody who's going to be watching like eventually, but not the live audience. And they're also like, and I mentioned it. There you go. There's my one. But so Jessica is upset with Taylor, says, you know, no more guests when I'm not home ever. And Taylor is, of course, tailoring up the stairs, being upset. And Alice, I remember Alice calls Liam a psycho. She mouths it to him when he's leaving. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Yep. I was like, she got him. What up, Midnight's Oblivion? Good to see you.
Hello.
Good to see you. Saw your short clips, pretty dead. Oh, dude, yeah. Like I said, I'll have better footage next time. That was one of the guys I was working with. His sister is a teacher where I teach, and she was shooting video of us. It's funny. Her little brother, you know, she's like in her 30s. Her little brother is like, what is he, 19? So I joke around with her daughter, who's one of my students. I always tell her I'm going to beat your uncle up. And not only did I put him in the crippler crossface, and that's how he tapped. Because Vince had him in the sharpshooter, I put him in a crippler crossface, which is Chris Benoit's finisher without a Bowflex machine. And Sands a never mind. But so Liam and his mom leave, and Taylor and Jessica and Alice are in the house now. And what happens next, Trina?
And so she sees her studio. She like passes by your studio and notices that one of her paintings is ruined. And Taylor's like, I swear it wasn't me, and I don't think it was Liam. And Jessica goes, I don't think it was you or Liam. And then she goes to Alice's room, and she starts having a conversation with Alice, like, you know, just she not admonishing her or anything, but just being like, you know, it's you know, I understand what you did and everything, but it's not okay to ruin stuff and everything. Like, she's actually being a good mom. And we see the covers move and stuff. Then as she's talking, we hear Alice outside singing, and that catches Jessica's attention. So she goes to the window, and Alice has taken a piece of the like a plank out of the fence.
Yeah.
And she turns back, uncovers like the bed. It's Chauncey under the sheets. Oh, that was weird.
That was fucking, because it looked like a full-size body.
Yeah. It looked like Alice.
It looked like Alice. And then it's just fucking Chauncey, and you're like, and then Alice is outside. You see her set the board on the picnic table, and she's looking at it, and there's a single nail sticking out of it.
Yeah.
And
which wasn't that in the trailer?
I think so.
Yeah. And she's saying, I'm nervous. You promise it won't hurt? And then Jessica sees, like by the side, there's the dresser there, and she sees the scavenger hunt list, and she turns it over, and then at the end of the list says something that hurts, and so she runs out, and just as this was really cool. So before Jessica runs out, Alice is getting ready. She's like really scared. She's getting ready to slam her hand down on the nail, and we see the nail as a little daisy. That was the coolest thing. I loved that. So yeah, she's about to slam it down. Chauncey must have told her, pretend it's a flower or something like that. She just about, like, she has her hand like just about there when we see the plank go flying, because Jessica got there, ripped it away. And like, that was amazing. That was a great shot. And that's when Jessica decides to have the psychologist come for a visit.
And this is like the center of the second act, I think.
Yep.
When the therapist comes. And this was timed. Everything was timed so perfectly in this. Like I said, there was no wasted scenes. There was no meaningless dialogue, really.
No.
Everything was succinct, which the movie ebbed and flowed so well. I cannot stress that enough. I really can't, because like I said, we'll get movies that are really good, but they still will have like, we could. This was money, like from start to finish, and everything in between. Yeah, it was fucking fantastic. But so the therapist comes in and she takes Alice into like the study, and she sets her camera up because she's gonna record the therapy session. And Trailer Park Werewolf, we need to do that. We need to do that. Tommy is that's one we'll bring Tommy on for. You review that was Tommy. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. But so the therapist is talking to her, and before she starts, she's like, "Can I bring Chauncey in?" And she's like, "Yeah." So you see her physically retrieve the bear from outside the room, bring the bear in, set the bear in the corner of the sofa or the Davenport, as it were, if we're speaking properly, the Davenport. If I say that to one of my students 9 3/4 times, none of them are gonna know what the fuck a Davenport is.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Gen X that won't even know what that is.
No.
To be real.
Yeah, true. They're like, what? The Davenport.
You know you have old parents when you know what a Davenport is.
And a Chifaroa.
That I don't know.
It's like a big cabinet.
Oh, okay.
there's an old thing about busting up the Chifaroa. That's where I learned that from, because I didn't know what a Chifaroa was until I heard that. Then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, okay, because it's literally you're busting up a cabinet. It's a Chifaroa. Furniture tips with Tep tonight on Tuesday Night TerrorVision. Back to the review. So she brings the bear and sets it down. Now, the therapist is questioning her and asking her things. Mm-hmm. And the girl will answer facing her. Then she will turn her back. And you'll hear the Chauncey voice done by Alice. Mm-hmm. And then this conversation between them, it gets very heated to the point where Alice is getting worked up. She's getting emotional because of the things that Chauncey's saying to her and the things he's wanting her to do. And the questions the therapist is asking her, triggering these things. And it comes down to, what does she say to her where she starts crying? Maybe we shouldn't be friends anymore. Like, I just want to go back to the way it was and have fun.
I loved this scene, this whole entire scene, because like the way that the therapist was like, now turn it to Chauncey and tell him how that made you feel. And the way she turns and she's like, she gathers up her chi and she's like, I was really scared doing that. I didn't like the way and it was like, it was just perfect. And then, then we hear like, and we only see the back of Alice, and we see like in her voice as Chauncey, saying just horrible things like, no one likes you, all this just terrible things, and it makes Alice cry. And then like we're thinking, okay, this is really like Alice really is just doing this. But at one point during this, she turns, we see Alice is like just crying, and we still hear Chauncey's voice.
Yep.
And it was like, that was filmed awesomely.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Like, that was fucking awesome. Like,
that was so well done.
Because this whole time, you're thinking it's her just doing a voice. Just changing up her voice a little bit here and there when she does the Chauncey voice.
Yep.
And it's like, and then the therapist, and she said something about her and her 3 ugly granddaughters.
Yes. Yep. That's when, as Alice is turning, that's when you hear it in her 3 ugly granddaughters in like Alice's Chauncey voice, but Alice isn't saying it because we see her mouth.
Her mouth was not moving.
No, definitely not.
It was not moving at all.
No, and this spooks even the therapist.
Yep.
And she goes to Jess and she's like, has your daughter been studying ventriloquism and all that stuff? And she's like, I want to, and of course Jessica's like, no. And
because Taylor was right there too, because Taylor was even like, no.
Yeah. And so she plays the video back. There's no Chauncey on film. It was but Jessica sees, wait, Is this when?
This is when she figures it out.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, the bear. She got the bear, and she's like, there was no bear. And that's when they go back and they watch the footage.
Yep. And then she also looks on her phone, and she's
like, yeah, I've got pictures right here.
Yeah.
I took pictures of her tea party, and they go back to the tea party, and the fucking bear's gone. The chair is empty. That the bear was the chair that the bear was sitting with the brown hair. No, but no, there's no bear in the chair. God damn it.
There's no bear in the chair.
There's no Chauncey in the chair. There's no bear in the chair.
Yeah, there's no teddy bear, and yeah, like, and she asked, and then she asked Taylor, like, you've seen Chauncey, haven't you? And Taylor's like, no, it's imaginary. Yeah. That's why it's called an imaginary friend. And this like blows Jessica's mind. And
then isn't that where they go back to that montage of like, because they show Alice going out and she goes like this and picks up nothing and carries it back in and sets it down in the corner. And there's all these little scenes of where Chauncey was and now he's gone.
Yep.
Which is very, like I said, it threw off Jessica really, really bad. And the therapist is like, can I show you something? And this is when she shows her the video of the other little boy who basically was doing the same thing. And he fucking cut his thumb off.
Yeah.
He had cut his thumb off. And this was like, from what she say, 7 to 10 years prior, 7 years prior.
Yeah.
I think it was. And he disappeared.
After his session with her, he disappeared.
And she's had other patients that have disappeared. And she says everyone that's had this problem has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So Jessica's like, well, she's basically kind of like in shock at this point because everything is kind of flooding in now. Like, she's starting to put things together, but not entirely yet. Hey, Adam, puppies are born. All good so far. Excellent, man. Excellent. Glad to hear it, bro.
Good job. Good to hear it, Adam.
Yes. So Jessica's in shock. Chauncey's not real, not a physical entity, but yeah. So the therapist is like, yeah, that'll be $900. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have another missing kid on my conscience. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, she makes a beeline. She heads out.
She hopped in the benzo and peeled the fuck out. I thought she was gonna die. At one point, I'm like, is this little bitch gonna kill her? Like, is she gonna kill this lady? Like, I thought like maybe at the least like they'd go back to her something like what happened to her like granddaughters or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, damn, are they gonna like go that? But they didn't. So spoiler alert, they didn't. But it gets freaky enough from here on out though, because what happens? Because what happened at this now? She leaves and.
Alice goes up to her room and she's just crying.
Yeah.
And then she sees Chauncey in the closet and that she's like, I'm sorry for what I said and everything. And then Chauncey like pushes the bin and it's got that list in it. So next thing we see is Alice in the basement in front of that door where she originally found Chauncey. And she's putting all the ingredients and he tells her to put all the ingredients in the bowl and make a fire.
Yep.
And to like, but it's like make fire magic. Like he says it oddly. And so and then what do we see next?
Well, she was supposed to be taking a nap. So Taylor and Jessica go up to check on her, and that's when they find she's gone.
Yep. And then they go down the basement to check and find out that she's not there anymore.
Yep. So they called the police at this point.
Yep.
And they show them outside and they're looking, they're searching for her as if she's actually missing in the real world. And Gloria shows up. How convenient for Gloria. What up, J-Man?
Hey, J-Man. Yeah, I think you'd like this one.
this is an enjoyable movie, brother. This is a very enjoyable movie. Yeah, this was good. So Gloria shows up and she tells Taylor about it first, because she runs into Taylor out on the street.
Yep.
And Taylor goes to her house, and her house is like a fucking library. Like,
yep.
I'm like, this is one to borrow from the library, J-Man. This is a good one. Yeah, because you go in her house and it's like, you see the upstairs, it looks like a fucking level from the GoldenEye video game, the 007 movie, you know? Mm-hmm. I was just like, God damn. Like, what kind of suburb is this? Like, I mean, I got a big house, like, but I mean, that fucking thing, I'm like, it's got cathedral ceilings, like.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That shit was, just the way it was set up, it was. Yeah, because like the whole living room, like it's like the ceiling's open. You get that staircase going up there, and then you got like the rails around it, like an actual like library, and you see all those shelves up there. It looked amazing.
Yeah, like, it was very cool. Yeah, obviously built a long time ago.
Oh yeah, this is another thing I want to bring up before we move any further, is the set pieces in this. They're normal, but just like that, like the house, like it looked fantastic. And when we get into like our the imagination portion, that shit looked great too.
Oh, like, yeah,
it looks so good.
Yeah.
So this point, Gloria is telling Taylor about basically what's going on. She's kind of breaking it down to her.
Yeah, she's talking about how, children have imaginary friends, and she's like, all different cultures have them. And they're attached to like the children because of their imaginations. And she explains that, but if that bond is disrupted, she calls the imaginary friend an entity. She says the entity can hunger for the child's imagination and become violent. And Taylor says she calls the spirit Bing Bong. I really I don't know where that comes from, but she calls it Bing Bong. And Gloria is like, the spirit that was separated from Alice waited in that house, and his name isn't Bing Bong. And she goes, it's Chauncey, isn't it? And she kind of smirks. And it's like right there, I'm thinking she is in on this somehow.
Yep.
What's up, Lion Ratton? Yeah, and then they're all back at Jessica's house, their house, and then while they were having this conversation, we're seeing Jessica, like, she pulls all the furniture away from her studio walls, and she starts recreating the art that's on her walls from her childhood. And she figured out, because her father kept saying, stop with the CB talk, stop saying that. And she figured out that what CB is, it means Chauncey Bear. And so she puts it together that they have the same imaginary friend. And then Jessica, and then Taylor asks, well, how could you forget all this? And Jessica's like, well, I was 5 and I just lost my mother to cancer. Yeah. Like, yeah. And then Taylor's like, well, how do we get back there? And she says that the list is the key. Yep. So they head to the basement.
And they have to get the same, not the exact same items, but the same list, something, that you're afraid of, something that like you love.
Yeah. A piece of, like, she has to put a piece of her hair in the bowl. Yep. And then a picture of, I think, what was that picture of? I think it was her family. Yeah. Her mother, her father, and her, or something like that. Mm-hmm. She puts all this stuff in the bowl, and then she also has to, like, and something that hurts. It has to be something that hurts her. So she's like, all right. And so she stabs her hand with scissors, and she puts the scissors in the bowl, and she lights it, and it does light up, but then it fizzes out quickly. And then Taylor's like, well, what are you doing? You have to fix this, you know? And she turns to Taylor and she's like, why do I always have to fix your messes? You're so entitled. And she just lays into Taylor, and I was like, yes, finally. And that makes Taylor cry. And then the fire lights in Gloria's like, something that really hurts, that had to hurt. And then Gloria's like Taylor's like, that hurt you more to say it, didn't it? And Jess is like, yeah. So they're still good. But you know, Gloria is saying weird stuff. She's like, you know, that night the door opened for you, and I'm sure he'll open it for you again. And I'm just thinking, like, so Gloria was right there when it happened. Like, this woman is weird. There's something up with her.
Yep.
And she's like talking about how she wants to go with her and stuff. And it's just weird.
You know who she reminded me of?
Who?
It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you.
Yep.
And that'll come into play.
Yeah. Yep.
But so they've recreated. Did they recreate the door yet? At this point, they recreated the door.
They got the door glowing and they go through it.
And Gloria, because they like block it open. They like have to
with the scissors.
Yep, with the scissors, they block it. You know, they were like blocking. No, just kidding.
It's so cool because when they get on the other side of the door, it looks like they're in that MC Escher painting Relativity, with the like how. Well, you just have to look up the painting to really see what I'm.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, and because that's exactly what it looks like.
Escher Relativity. There we go. Oh, they did this in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like one of the fucking the dreams in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Right here. There we are, right there.
Yep, that staircase.
Yep. That's what it looked like when they went through the door. It like the whole thing rotated.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You know, it was like that didn't come to mind for me at first until you mentioned it now, because I didn't know the name of the painting. Mm-hmm. But the Upside Down from Stranger Things.
Yep, that too. Yep.
That automatically off the top of my head, because that's so in my zeitgeist. I was like, oh shit, it's like the Upside Down. It's kind of neat. I like again, more great camera work.
Yes, definitely.
The way these, and I'm glad you agree with me on that. Because I was like, it's this can't be just me, like, because after watching all these movies now, it's like I start paying attention to the details of things, like the cinematography, the set pieces and stuff in the score, and how it plays into the scenes even more than before. When you just watch a movie, you just watch a movie. But after you've watched so many movies, even on a first viewing, you start to do these things.
Especially when you're reviewing them like we do.
Yep. Yeah, because anybody can sit here and just talk about, well, this is what the story beats. But when you get into those kind of things like that, I like getting into the weeds on that. Mm-hmm. I really do. Because that can hinder a movie so much. If it's a great story, great characters, but average cinematography. This is well above average.
Oh, yeah.
The way this is shot. And like I said, this is in more of a thriller than a horror. There's horror aspects, but it is more of a thriller. But everything about this works.
Oh,
yeah. So they're in the imagination, the never ever. They're in the never ever.
Yep.
And Gloria starts acting the fool.
She starts like talking. She's rejoicing that now she's in the kingdom of their imagination, and she just has this huge moment. And Taylor's funny. She's like, well, I'm glad you're happy. Like it was awesome.
Yep. She yells, there's, what does she say? There's endless possibilities. And she yells. You can see it's like a hallway filled with all these doors. And
which we saw in a painting earlier in the movie too.
Mm-hmm. And she's taken the scissors out and closed the door, the gate to get back.
Yes.
And they're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she's like, I was supposed to be here when you left and all this,
Yeah.
you know, what'd she say? We were waiting for you.
Something like that. And she's
Something
like, your father your father was never supposed to let you leave or something like that.
Yep.
Because they find a little window in that place. Yeah. And they see, and Jessica sees her as a little girl with her father go through, come through that door.
Yep.
And he like fights that entity. And when he looks at it, his eyes turn like that really pale blue. And that's what we see in the very beginning of the movie when she's having her nightmare. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they tied it right into the beginning, like, no wasted scenes at all in this movie. Nope. Everything's there for a reason. And and we see everything play out. Like, we even hear her say, I'm sorry we didn't finish your game. And then her father's like, it's okay. And it just ties right back to the very beginning. I loved it. And she realized that, you know, her father sacrificed his sanity to save her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that it was awesome. And that's when Gloria said, yeah, father never should have let you leave and everything. And then she reveals the entities. She takes the scissors out and traps them. And she's like, the entity's been telling me to do this. It wants all of us here. And she's like, this is what the entity promised me. We can all be happy here. And then all of a sudden, a door opens and the Chauncey monster grabs her and she's screaming. And then you see blood coming from under the door.
Yep.
And that's the end of Gloria. That was great.
Gloria. Holy shit, you crazy broad. All that build up for no delivery. But yeah, it was like, well, she kind of got what she had coming.
Yep.
Like I said, it's all for you, Damien. But Dad.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I get to live in imagination land. Bitch, your lunch.
That was so beautiful.
He's like, she tasted like Geritol. Did you just drink Metamucil?
So gritty.
My grandpa drinking that. Used to be, you'd leave it on the kitchen in the wind. There's like my parents have it's an old farmhouse. So like the kitchen, there's like a window that opens to like the inside back porch. And then there's like the sunroom outside that. So he would set it there on that windowsill and be like, God damn Metamucil. Get me my Metamucil, Petey. Get me my Metamucil. No, Grandpa, you're going to yell racist things at me again. That's not a joke. All right, Jay, have a great night, brother. J-Man is on next Tuesday night. We're reviewing, which one was it? The
bird with the crystal
plumage. The bird with the crystal plumage. 1970, Dario Argento. The first of his movies in the giallo genre, I guess we call that. Yeah, bird with the crystal plumage. Yes. So yes, thank you, J-Man. You'll be joining us again, brother. We're glad to have you back. Glad you're doing well, man. Yeah, excellent, bro. Have a great night, dude. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Yeah, good night.
So Gloria's eaten, and they're like, oh shit just got real. At least the crazy bitch is gone. We got stuff to do. So they got to figure out how to get the hell out of here now.
Yep. And Taylor finds a door and she's like, this is the apartment we lived in the city. And they walk in there and they're walking down this hallway. And I love this. They walk by some family photos. And as they walk by, the photos are distorted.
Yep.
That was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, their heads were cocked and their eyes were like black.
Yeah. Yep.
It was really neat.
Yeah, very cool.
And I noticed that when she said this is our apartment, I'm like, this is a big ass apartment.
I know. They always do that.
I know. It's like, have you ever been in an actual like a real apartment that like normal folks like would pay for? Like they're
obviously not.
They're not like 15,000 square feet. Like
no,
that's not how an apartment layout works, especially in a large city, unless you have like penthouse money, you know. But I mean, the one that like my sister used to live in Harlem was like, she was paying like $3,000 a month, and it was like 450 square feet.
Oh,
yeah, and it was in Harlem. Oh
man.
That's why they moved the fuck out of there. They're out in Jersey, but they moved the fuck out of there now.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, and then she's going back to med school in Harlem. But anyway, so mono stress ball. You can't really see it because it's part green, but yeah, stress ball.
Yeah.
But so wait, all right, I lost my place here. I went off on that fucking tangent.
So then, so they get into
the apartment. The apartment.
Yeah, the apartment, yes. And they find Alice. She's in her room, and there's like presents everywhere. She's dressed like a princess. She's having a great time, and she's like, "I want to stay here. It's fun here and stuff." And Jessica's trying to convince her like this is not good and everything. And Chauncey's like, "I told you they wouldn't understand." And then Jessica gets a brilliant idea. She's like, imagination matters here. So she makes a door on the wall, a little blue door.
Yep.
And it was brilliant. So they end up, she has to battle Chauncey a bit.
The mom's there.
Yes, that's right. The mom is there. That's right. The mom
is there.
Yeah, the mom. The mom is like, I told you they wouldn't understand and stuff. Yes, she's the one saying that. And then so Jessica and Taylor they start making the door on the wall, and even Alice starts to help. And then what is it like? Does the mom turn into Chauncey?
Yeah, because Jessica, like she like throws her into like the big ass pile of presents.
Yep.
And you hear the like the growling starts stirring around over there because her eyes were all like blacked out when Jessica grabbed her.
Yes,
she fucking yeeted her into the presents, and the big Chauncey monster pops out. That fucker they did a good job with that thing. The creature effects were really well done.
Yeah, they were. He was awesome.
Yeah, it looked great.
So they end up they make it through. Well, okay, so Taylor and Alice escape through the door, but Jessica can't because she's battling Chauncey. And then so she is actually, as she's battling, she like falls through the floor. Which was cool. It reminded me of Alice in Wonderland when Alice falls down to the tree thing.
Yeah.
And then so it shows that after stabbing Chauncey, she uses the scissors to get through the door. Yeah, so she finds the doorway and she gets through the door, and so now they're all on the other side of the door, and it's like, oh good, everybody made it and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, they didn't seal the door after, so this is not over yet.
Yep.
And that ends up being true. Because we see they're all at the nursing home, and Jessica's reading to Dad, and this is really nice and everything. And she puts her hand on Alice's arm and sees that Alice doesn't have the scars there, and she goes, "I'm still here." And then everything turns dark, and all of her family have like those big bug eyes.
Yep.
The Chauncey eyes, and they're all Chauncey now, and
cocked and shit.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Very, very, and she's like, "Did you really think I'd let you leave again?" And Jessica's like, "It's all right, fine, I'll stay if you let them live." And the entity's like, you're mine forever, ever. And then all of a sudden we see Taylor come up with her field hockey stick and takes him out, and she goes, forever's over, asshole. There's always some kind of tagline in a horror movie. I love it.
Yep. They got it in there. They worked it in.
And so this is Taylor's redemption right here. It's 100% redemption. I love it. And she ends up rescuing Jessica. So they're running through that like weird hallway thing. And they end up making it out. And the entity is like grabbing Jessica as she's leaving. And it looks at her. She looks at it, and it has like these glowy, weird kind of hypnotic eyes. It looks amazing, and they're trying to tell her like, don't look at it, and she can't help it. She looks at it, and then as this is happening, lighter fluid leaks out on the floor, and Alice gets an idea, to make a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so she lights it up, and Chauncey says, Alice kill friend, and she goes, you were never my friend, never ever. And then she sets the house on fire, and the house burns, fire department comes and everything. And then next thing we see is they're at a hotel, and one of them sees a teddy bear on a chair, and then Taylor says, yep, I see it too. And then we see a kid, like there's a kid who has a teddy bear, and the teddy bear's name is Rufus, and he's like, yeah. So Alice goes, should we try the next hotel? And they're like, yeah, I think so. So they leave. And as they're leaving, the kid says, can we eat soon? Rufus is getting hungry. And it's like over again. It's like, you can't get rid of it.
Yep. You can get rid of it, but it's going to go to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Every kid has an imaginary friend.
Yep.
And this fantastic end, it leaves it open where it could have a sequel, but it doesn't have to. It's very well done.
And the way you could do this is you go to another family if you're going to do a sequel.
Yep.
You don't even, it's an anthology. It's a fucking an evergreen anthology. Yep. Like you could pump these out and just keep going with them, because like you said, every kid has an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So it could be any assortment of different entities that you could go to with this, and it would be great. What's up, Alan? Good to see you, bro.
Hey, Alan.
Good to see you, man.
Hope you're well.
Yeah.
And another thing they could do, if they wanted to keep it in continuity, they could, like he said, and your 3 ugly granddaughters, he could be attached to one of the granddaughters.
Yep.
So they could go there. There's a lot of possibilities.
Oh yeah, like you've got like you said, you got the kid in the end of this one in the hotel. You've got the granddaughters that you haven't introduced the granddaughters, but you have introduced them, through the picture, so we know they're a part of this universe. So you really could do that.
Yeah.
It's limitless, really.
Yeah.
And it's fucking genius. Like
it is.
I don't mean to oversell it, because I know there's people gonna watching this on playback, maybe going like, what the fuck? Like, you talking about this movie like it's fucking, The Godfather or something. But in this genre, if you look at a lot of the shit it's done for cheap reasons, and then they'll do a sequel based on nothing. This literally, like I said, has an evergreen fucking list of possibilities of things you could do moving forward. There's no fucking shortage. So I give Walden credit for that. This was fucking this was goddamn well done. Very, very well done. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I can't think of anything I would change about it. Like, I was trying to think of that like before we came on stream, and I just I wouldn't take anything out of the script at all. Like everything is there for a reason.
Yeah. And you know, one thing you run into in these movies, especially movies with kids, is the annoying child actor or actress. And Alice was a great character. She was well played. She wasn't really ever annoying to the point where you're like, no, there was nothing like that. Even like we talked about Taylor earlier with her teen angst and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Her character did, you know, and not only did she get a redemption arc, but she survived.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a rarity for some of these characters. You know, you get a redemption arc, but you're going to sacrifice yourself along the way. She survived. So, yeah, well done all around. Written, acted, set pieces, special effects, creature effects. I have to look this budget up on this.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Yeah, let's see here. Hang on. Imaginary 2024 budget. All right. It was the production budget of 10 to 12 million. $10 to $12 million for the budget. It made 43.8 million.
Nice. Yes, it made a profit.
Horror, cheap to make, and it's always going to make money. I mean, if you can put a competent horror movie together, it can make money. And this was extremely well done. Scramble says this movie sounds crazy. What did Alan say? Oh no, go ahead. You're the only ones I've heard say anything good about this, and here you are bragging on it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
Are we crazy?
No. This is a good movie. I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with this. The only thing I can think of is it's not like full on horror.
Yeah.
It's more of like thriller with some horror aspects, but that doesn't take away from it. It's a fantastic movie. All the characters are awesome. There's not like even Taylor, like you said, with her teen angst. It's not overdone. It's very believable. I loved it. Honestly.
Look at this, Trina. This is Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I put much stock in Rotten Tomatoes, but just because now with what Alan's talking about, this has me curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching YouTube videos tonight, reviews of this, because I want to know, what other, reviewers think about this, because you got a 24 critic and 54. Now let's dive into this a little bit here for a minute. I'm genuinely interested. Let's go over here first. Imagine a better movie. It's not hard. For a film about imagination, the new Blumhouse horror mystery lacks. And was this Blumhouse?
Yep, Blumhouse and Lionsgate.
Okay, I didn't even notice that. While preserving a creative concept, the barely nightmarish, dull thriller deserved much better execution. This one's a positive one. Look beyond the plethora of illusions. You'll see a film that's happily engaging with the genre while still maintaining a solid core of real dread, so it's not all empty calories. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
The result suffers from a fatal lack of imagination all the way to the climax, which echoes Coraline and Insidious.
Yeah, there are some elements about Coraline in there, definitely.
I don't know if I've seen Insidious.
I saw it. I like those movies.
Which one was that?
I
can't even remember it. I don't know. I don't think I've seen it.
It's the one where the guy is like he has a spirit, like a evil spirit attached to him from his childhood, and he has to go into like the spirit realm to rescue his son.
Okay. I remember that coming out. I don't think I've ever seen it.
The first one I like, I think it was like the first three I liked. Or two. Can't remember now.
Look at a severe lack of imagination. The melodramatic and overstuffed script feels like an amalgamation of the latest Blumhouse offerings, which themselves were inferior versions of previous films. Unfortunately, Blumhouse's Imaginary doesn't really add anything new. Instead, cherry picks elements from other flicks that delivered similar superior scares. Blumhouse seems to be on a mission to make the dumbest and most boring horror movies of the year, and this is no exception. Imaginary is ineffective at everything it attempts.
I don't know where they're getting this.
Oh, this chick's on YouTube. I'm gonna look her up because I'm sure she is a absolute gem. I didn't really do anything for me. Okay, Tony. I think he meant it, but all right.
He looks like a Tony.
He does look like a Tony. Not our Tony, though. It's like The Hangover. That's not our Tony. Our Tony was a white. Is that Tony? No, that's Black Tony. By the time the credits roll on Imaginary, you will have mixed feelings. There are a few good ideas here and there, but the characterization needs a bit more work, and the scares needed to be polished a tad more. It's flimsy, cheap, and easily forgotten, much like an unloved, stuffy, decaying in the darkness of some dusty box that will never be opened again. This mostly terrible. Jesus Christ.
What?
Like, okay, let's go to the audience now. These are the critics. Let's go. The audience gave this 54 to the critics 24. Fairly underwhelming. This is 2.5 stars. Fairly underwhelming and not that spooky. Imaginary has a great hook and plot, but a terrible script and worse direction from the always not so good Jeff Wadlow. It has some fun visuals though, and DeWanda Weiss does her best. I thought she was good.
I know.
Oh no, it's another Liam. It's not as bad as everyone says, but for a movie that has the word imaginary, it's very boring.
It's about an imaginary friend. It's what are they not understanding? This movie isn't hard to understand. It's not like it's artsy.
I think these fuckers are like these are the guys that like they huff their own farts in the jars. Like,
was this not art house enough for them?
I think that's what they're getting at.
Oh,
Is it was supposed to be like elevated.
Snotty horror. Well, I loved it. I think the script is perfect. I think it's fun. It's even safe for kids. And, you know, that's hard to do, to have scary elements in a movie that's also safe for kids. You know, and to still keep adults engaged in it. Very good. I think it's a fantastic movie, and I would buy this one. Yeah.
This is one that I would not feel bad adding to my collection at all. The wife enjoyed this too. She watched it with me. Like I said, her and Trey were watching it in the living room while I was watching it on my phone in the kitchen. And then when we sat down to eat dinner in the living room, I just had it on the TV. So she enjoyed it. She thought it was good. You know, like I said, I dug it.
Yep.
So
I loved it.
Let's score this thing. Let's score this thing. What do you say, Trina?
You know, I kind of want to give it a 5.
Yeah.
I really kind of do. I can't think of anything I would change about it. PG-13 horror. It's like it does it. Yeah, I'm gonna say 5.
You're gonna go 5. Okay. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5. I have nothing bad to say about it. I'm just giving it a 4.5 because I don't know if it's a 5, but I'll give it a 4.5. There's nothing I didn't enjoy, really.
Yeah.
This one was like I said, super good. I mean, Alan says what I hear it was slow. I didn't get that.
I didn't get that. No. And I feel like it was paced fine.
Yeah. There was, like I said, there was no wasted motion. And you're gonna hate this reference, but because I am one, I look at like these movies and the pacing in like a wrestling match, like putting together a match. You don't want any wasted motion in the ring, right? You don't want any wasted scenes in a movie. You don't want any extraneous dialogue that's irrelevant to your plot.
Right.
you're gonna, you get a line or two here and there, but nothing extended. This had none of that. Everything,
I agree.
like I said, everything meant something.
Mm-hmm.
It meant something to the story, the overarching themes, the character arcs, which there was character development for Jessica, for Alice, for Taylor. The dad was pretty much a boilerplate. I mean, he was, not really a non-factor in the movie. Tom Payne, he didn't really have too many scenes, which dude's a great actor. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll go 4.5 on this. I recommend this movie. I don't know what these critics and these people are talking about with this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So, but yeah, that was Imaginary from 2024. A Blumhouse movie that I actually liked. That does not happen often.
There's a bunch of Blumhouse that I like.
It seems like all the ones I've watched recently have been like, I don't know, like that Fantasy Island. Did you see that?
No.
Don't. It was an excuse to have a pretty cast, like a CW looking cast with a like D-list script, and just they replaced Ricardo Montalban with what's his name, Michael Pena. Like, you can't replace Ricardo Montalban. And then Tattoo became a short Asian kid, like just a regular size Asian kid, and he had a tattoo that said Tattoo on his arm.
Oh my God.
And there was black goo, which was directly affecting the fantasies or whatever, which turned into nightmares, and it was like a horror movie. Fantasy Island turned into a horror movie, which I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. Okay. It was fucking terrible.
Wow.
I watched it once and I was like, I will never fucking watch this again. It wasn't as offensive as the Black Christmas 2019. That shit. I was ready to light my TV on fire after watching that one. But no, this was a great movie. This was like I said, I recommend if you got it, a way to check it out. It's worth it. It's on Prime Video, Hulu, and a couple more, I think, but it's worth the watch. Or like I said, if you acquire it from your local library. But what do you got going on the rest of the week, Trina?
All right. So tomorrow on my channel, Real Horror, Vinny and I will be reviewing the last 2 episodes of season 1 of Hannibal. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be fun. And then Thursdays we have Collectible Past at 8:30, which dual casts on Tommy's channel and Vinny's channel. And I think that's it, because we wrapped up Arcane with Vinny this past Sunday. So yeah, that's it for me for the week.
Okay. Well, tomorrow, folks, as you know, I have, plug your ears, Trina. I have to go to wrestling camp tomorrow night, which means afterwards, depending on what kind of shape I'm in, you guys will probably get a stream tomorrow night. We're probably going to do something light and fun tomorrow. We might do a quick, find a, like an 85-minute schlock. We haven't watched the Chuck Norris movie in a while. It might be time for Delta Force 2. So we'll do that. And Thursday, nothing going on for me until 11:30 p.m. Eastern, when we have the Awful Wrestling Podcast on the Awful Wrestling Opinions channel on YouTube and X. James will be gone this week, but myself and Jared, and I believe Jose will be stepping in. So we'll have that, like I said, 11:30 Eastern on the Awful Wrestling Opinions channel, and we'll be live streaming that on the Awful Wrestling X channel as well. And Saturday night is live right back here on the channel, 6:35 Eastern. We could do 6:05 Eastern, but we'll go 6:35 Eastern for the Royal Rumble, WWE Royal Rumble 2025, live from Indianapolis, Indiana. I had an opportunity to go, but I decided to save my shekels because tickets are way too expensive, and that's tattoo money. So no, it's like, save that money for my tattoo or go to the Royal Rumble. I'm like, I will save that money for my pinhead tattoo. So, but yeah, so we'll watch the Royal Rumble here, and that's it, gang. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, all our channel members. Patreon backers. Let's see, we had Manliness in the chat. Tommy, Alan from Grave Reviews, Godzillionaire, Scrambles, J-Man, Lion Ratton. Let's see, Midnight's Oblivion, Tehillim 29. Thank you, everybody. Vinny, Parrothead, Superfan Adam Shawhan, Adam Schwarken, bro, was here. Mr. Pulp Noir. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you for watching. We'll be back next week. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, featuring guest J-Man. This has been fun, gang. I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror, for Trina from Real Horror and Tuesday Night TerrorVision. If we don't see you, have a great day at Pleasant tomorrow. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away. Have a great